Hi, this is Joe Albanese, and I wanted to remind everyone that we are having the presentation of our proposed budget this Wednesday, October 18th at 6:30 p.m. And I encourage everyone to attend, whether in person or on Zoom. I think most of us are having growing concerns regarding finances, whether our own finances or that of Valencia Isles. And every resident should be knowledgeable about both, since they are so intertwined. So I look forward to the presentation by Jeff Ducker, chairman of the Finance Committee, outlining their proposed budget for 2024. Jeff has done a great job in the past with budget presentations, and I expect he will clearly articulate our financial situation. As such, I have no intention of discussing the 2024 budget, as I'll leave that to Jeff and the Finance Committee. But I did want to take this opportunity to take a bird's eye view of the long term trends facing Valencia Isles in the hopes that we can better understand the challenges and or opportunities we are facing. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, inflation has risen approximately 32% over the last 10 years. In other words, it takes $1.32 to buy what $1 bought in 2014. So while inflation rose 32%, our quarterly maintenance charges have increased over 86% over that same period of time. Now, many of us have some general notions as to why our maintenance fees have so greatly outpaced inflation. The whole clubhouse thing, the fact that we are an aging community that needs more upkeep, the fact that we underfunded the reserve fund for many years. But I wanted to drill down a little deeper and see exactly what our greatest increases in costs have been. So I punched in the numbers from our 2014 budget into the 2024 budget spreadsheet to be able to make some comparisons. So here goes. This is the first table that I would like to show you. The table displays our expenses in the approved 2014 budget as well as the proposed 2024 budget. This section here is our operating expenses broken down by each category. And the totals for each year shows that we've had a 57.6% increase in operating expenses over the last 10 years. Remember, inflation has increased 32% during the same time period. Next are our reserve contributions. Here you can see a huge jump in contributions, 168%, mainly in the contribution for the common area. The contribution for the painting and roof cleaning actually came in under inflation at 27%. Next up, we have our repayment for one of the loans we took out to complete the clubhouse rebuild. We obviously didn't have this expense in 2014. This adds nearly $500,000 to our total expenses, which, with the increased reserve contributions, adds up to nearly an 80% increase over 2014. All this leaves us with a proposed quarterly maintenance fee, which is 86.5% higher than it was in 2014. The next chart I would like to show you has all the expense lines for the years 2014 and 2024. And I sorted those line items that increased the most in dollars over those 10 years. The next column shows what percent change that is. For an example, let's take a look at the TV, internet, phone line. This is the Xfinity contract now. It was Comcast back in 2014. Here's the cost in 2014 and in 2024. The increase was about $230,000, which represents a 24% increase. So that's not bad. Not bad at all, considering that inflation was running at 32%. So this expense came in under inflation. So which expenses had the greatest dollar increases over these last 10 years? Well, as we mentioned, we are contributing more to the reserves, and we have that loan repayment. But the next item and the first operating expense is insurance. Huge increase in both dollars and percent change. We're all unfortunately familiar with the problems with insurance in the state of Florida, so maybe this is not unexpected. Next, we have the office personnel and janitorial contracts, basically the castle staff that works at Valencia Isles. These expenses show significant increases that are way above the inflation rate. Was that due to an increased number of personnel or increased salaries? Maybe this is something that needs to be looked at. Our landscaping contract, much like our cable contract, also came in under inflation at 24%. But our landscape enhancement budget increased by 220%. Electricity only increased 19%. I guess installing all that LED lighting over the years has helped in that regard. Now, I'm not going to go through all the lines, but you can see that many of the lines have triple-digit percent increases. They should all be looked at and analyzed to see if there's a way to reduce cost. Here is the same chart, but this time I sorted the expenses by those that have had the largest percent increases over the last 10 years. As you can see, the expenses with the biggest percent increases are often small amounts. But you can immediately pick out those expenses that not only have big percentage increases, but also significant dollar increases. We mentioned most of them already: insurance, common area reserves, tree trimming, janitorial, and office contracts. But it's not all bad news. Everything from this line down has come in under the inflation number, and some even have negative increases. So I wanted to provide this research so residents could have a better handle on our budget. I'm not advocating for or against the proposed 2024 budget, and I have a lot of respect for Jeff and his finance committee, and I expect they have come up with the best budget for our community at this time. Remember, it's not the finance committee's job to reduce cost. That is the job of the board of directors, who are responsible for all association spending. This board and future boards need to look closely at our budget, to understand it, to see the bigger picture, to look at the trends and not just focus 1 year at a time. They also need to have the determination and will to make hard decisions if necessary to put Valencia Isles on a more sustainable path.